All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Got a super exciting video today. I'm going to be doing a interview with Vanessa. She is actually one of the early adopters to windshield repair training. She got in, in the early stages, and she's kind of seen some evolution with the program for sure. So, yeah, this is Vanessa. Thank you for jumping on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be on.
Cool. So actually, yeah, I'm really glad that you agreed to that, really, because you are in a position, we were kind of talking about it before we jumped on here, but you're in a
Mhm.
position to where a lot of people would look up to, I guess, especially getting into windshield or into the windshield repair industry, because you do it part-time. So you have a full-time gig
Yeah.
right now, and you do it part-time. So I think a lot of people would kind of relate to you in that aspect. So that's really cool. So yeah, thanks for getting on this.
Yeah.
Um, I guess to go ahead and start out, let's go ahead and just introduce yourself. Where are you from? And then also, why did you decide to start windshield repair of all businesses?
Okay. Pretty much my name is Vanessa again. I'm from here. I was actually born in the Philippines, but I moved at like a super, super young age. So I don't remember anything. Started growing up in San Diego and eventually I joined the military. I'm still in the military, 9 years strong. And pretty much like I have a lot of time in my hands at my current command, so I decided to start a windshield repair business. Previously, I was doing auto detailing, and I realized how much time it took, really, compared to windshield repair. So I
Mm,
thought that was like kind of a gateway because once you get into auto detailing, you think of like different niches that you could do in that same type of category. So I just stumbled upon one of your ads, to be honest, and I noticed that you offered training. So I kind of wanted to get into it, and I looked up a bunch of videos. I see that you uh, are partnered with like Delta Kits, right? So I did a little bit of research on them, and I was like, hey, this might be easy. So I decided to just go ahead and jump in, stop auto detailing because it was long hours. I just don't have that time being in the military.
mm.
That's why I chose windshield repair.
Okay, cool. Oh, nice. That's okay, sweet. So, okay, so you got into the detailing industry. Yeah, it takes a lot more time to do details, of course. Like I know a lot of them and they're spending all day on a car. And
Mhm.
maybe they'll make, a good amount of money, but yeah, you're spending all day and you're kind of making that commitment to certain cars. So, yeah, okay, that's cool. Cool, cool. So yeah, you saw my ad. So did I kind of like show you the windshield repair industry from seeing my ad, or did you kind of see that
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, so it started with like at that time I had a crack on my windshield. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like looking for I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call somebody to freaking get a replacement. And then I got the replacement done. And funny enough, like I've gotten 3 replacements on that car in 1 year. And so I'm like, dang, dude, I spent so much money. And I was like, there's got to be another alternative. I found your page on Instagram through an ad, clicked on your page and, went through a little bit and turns out you were teaching the course. I was like, hey, this is something that I could definitely get into. And, it doesn't take a lot of time. And I see it as like, another way to just add to my belt of, knowledge. So I was like, maybe I could do this in conjunction with detailing. And it turns out like I actually love doing repair more than I love doing detailing. Even like I travel a lot and like I have no issues with like all the travel because it's like I can go different types of places in San Diego that I've never been.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Okay, sweet. So yeah, you decided to join. So what kind of put you over the edge to join, windshield repair training and join the program instead of just like learning, it on your own? Because a lot of people, they look at windshield repair and they're like, "Oh, I can learn that on my own," and you definitely can, of course, but they always, want to try it themselves first and they
Yeah.
kind of just want to learn it, as they go, and they think that they can kind of teach themselves and whatnot. So what kind of made you decide that you wanted to actually get training on it and learn from someone?
I firmly believe in the concept of guidance. Um, Now, learning DIY is not a bad thing. It does save you a lot of money, but at the same time, it could give you a lot of headache because then you're not going to learn the tools and tips of the trade that you could learn from a mentor versus trying to figure it out on yourself. Now, you can look up anything on YouTube nowadays, but they're not going to show you like those little hard parts of the job, right? They show you like the quick, easy parts where oh, how do you do this in like 30 seconds? But once you actually have a mentor, they're there for you to pick their brain, where you can't do that on a video that you look up on YouTube.
Yeah.
I feel like you save a lot more money in the long run because they tell you what you need versus like trying out different types of methods, buying different types of tools that will potentially work for you. And in the end, I feel like you get a lot more value when you have a one-on-one person who's pretty much like a master in the trade like you are. And, I'm like very beneficial. It's very beneficial to me because not only do I get to talk to you, I get to talk to other people in the same boat as me that are in the community.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of people, it's definitely better to learn from someone that's already been there, done that, than to just kind
Yeah.
of, wing it and do it yourself. Of course, you can do it yourself, yes, you're probably going to spend a little bit less money, up front in terms of
Mm.
like an investment, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times you'll end up spending, more money later down the road because you don't know things, you don't know what you don't know, right? So
Exactly.
it's definitely better to go that route of learning from someone else. And that's what I tell people all the time. I do the same thing for everything that I do. I always want to learn from someone that's already been there, done that. So it's just an easier way to go about it for sure. So, okay, cool. Nice. So I know that there's going to be a question that a lot of people are going to be wondering, you do windshield repair part-time, right? You don't do
Yeah.
it full-time. So that, a lot of people can relate to that because they want to get into the business and they can't just go, straight full force into the business because they have a job and they need to make money. And when you
Mhm.
first start out a business, you're probably not going to be making a lot of money right away.
Yeah.
Just depends on how you take it, of course. But a lot of people are going to want to start as a side hustle. So in terms of a side hustle, what's like an average month that you're kind of like looking at? Let's just go off of like this year, maybe. So what's like an average month that you're kind of making in revenue with windshield repair?
So it typically depends on my schedule, right? Like I said, I'm active duty military. I'm a survival instructor, so I literally have no time down in town. I'm usually up north trying to do my thing, but it really depends on like how motivated you are. So for me, since this is like a part-time side hustle, I'm probably like making 1,500 to 2K a month,
Nice.
depending, right?
Yeah.
If I want to be a little bit slow because I want to rest, I probably make like 800 to $1,000. So that's like the beauty of it is like you get to choose how much workflow you want, right? And I love being able to control that. So on a good day, probably like 15 to 2K a month.
That's pretty good, honestly. That's a lot better than what I was doing when I first started. And I was
Yeah.
doing it like basically full, well, not when I first started, but when I got let go from my job, I still was figuring everything out because again, I didn't really have that mentor and like somebody that already, did what I wanted to do. So when I first started, I definitely wasn't doing that great. So you were actually really, really killing it, especially doing it for a part-time, gig. If you had full-time, availability and you had like, a full schedule to where you can actually book these appointments, obviously you'd
Mhm.
be doing a lot better, of course. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're in a particular situation where you can't just like quit your job, right? You're in the military, so you
I have
can't
a
really quit.
contract.
Yeah, exactly. You could probably go to jail if you did that. So
Oh, absolutely.
so yeah, that's really good though. That's super good. You being in the military, doing it part-time, kind of working when you want, still making, 1,500, 2 grand a month. I'm sure anybody would take that. So that's killing it. You're doing really good. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice, very good. So cool. I mean, just to kind of end this off, do you have any like parting words for anybody? I don't know, I'll give you a moment to be kind of inspirational for anybody that, wants to get into windshield repair. Maybe they just wanted to learn a little bit more about it and they're just not really, they're kind of on the edge where they would just want to maybe join the program or just want to get into the business in general. Do you have any kind of motivational words for any of them?
Yeah, I would say don't be scared to invest in yourself, right? There's always going to be a risk in anything you do. And it really just depends on how motivated you are. If you feel like you're stuck, like maybe that might be a sign that you need to take a leap of faith and just go for it. Because when I first started my first year, I didn't feel motivated at all because I was like, I think I would be putting on too much for myself, putting too much on my plate. But I was like, you know what? I have a lot of time and I feel like I'm wasting it and I could use extra income. So I just decided to go full force into it. And like, I'm really thankful that I found a mentor that could, help me figure it out instead of trying to figure it out on my own. So
Yeah.
definitely, like, if you you feel like you're stuck, like that might be your sign to just, go for it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yep, that's very true, very true. Because yeah, I mean, a little bit of time can actually change, the trajectory of your life. It's I
Yeah.
don't want to say like windshield repair changed my life, but at the end of the day, you know, taking that extra step and doing something a little bit different can just completely change the trajectory of your life. So you have something that you can kind of fall back on after the military, and
Hmm.
you're ahead of the game because you started it before you actually got out of the military. So very cool. Yeah, super proud of you. You've been killing it. You've been in the program for a little while, and you kind of been in this situation where you kind of have to do it part time and whatnot. So that's awesome. But super proud of you. You've been killing it, and
Thanks, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Super, super stoked for that. So yeah, that's all I really got. Anybody that is thinking of starting windshield repair and you want some help, just DM me. Go to my Instagram. I'll leave it Instagram down below in the description. DM me. I can help you out. I can at least give you some free content. I have a bunch of free content on my Instagram, on my YouTube, and everything. So at least help you out in some way. Yeah. Thank you, Vanessa. I really appreciate you
Yeah.
jumping on this call with me. And I know you gotta get to stuff. We're gonna be having actually a live call here in a bit for the
Yep.
group. So hopefully you're gonna attend that, and I'll see you in that.
Be there. See ya.
Cool.
Thanks,
Sweet.
Chris.
Thanks, guys. See you later.